Welcome to episode 8 of Bizarre Connections, the channel where the sole aim is to be aimless. Last time we ended up bouncing along with Skippy the bush kangaroo, so that's where we'll pick up this time. Connection 50, Manchester United. Manchester United, one of the biggest football clubs in the world and undoubtedly the most successful club in the Premier League era. They once conquered all before them. Then he left. Their fall from grace since 2013 has left many devastated. Not me. The connection between Kangaroos and Manchester United begins at the Australian coat of arms, which shows a kangaroo alongside an emu. Giant flightless birds, emus rose to celebrity fame at the hands, or more precisely under the hand, of Rod Hull. In the 1970s and 1980s, Rod Hull and emu seemed to be on TV more than the Queen herself. Famous for causing mayhem, the pair found it increasingly difficult to get good gigs. When you insist on attacking the presenter, they don't tend to invite you back. It isn't rocket science, Rod. Rod Hull died in 1999 in a somewhat bizarre way. He was watching TV when the signal cut out. Keen to restore the picture, Hull scaled the roof of his house to adjust the aerial manually. Whether or not Emu accompanied him is unknown, though I like to think he did. Unfortunately, once on the roof, Hull lost his footing and fell to his death, aged 63. And the programme he was watching and was so desperate to get back? It was a Champions League football match, Inter Milan versus Manchester United. From the second best team in Manchester, we goose-step our way to totalitarianism. Connection 51, Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un is North Korea's baby-faced, corpulent tyrant. The third in a family line of repressive dictators, Kim clearly has impressive shoes to fill. In 1994, his father, Kim Jong-il, when playing his first ever round of golf, on the opening day of Pyongyang's first and only golf course, allegedly shot a score of 38 under par on a standard 18-hole golf course. This astonishing round reportedly included 11 holes in one and was a world record that will never be beaten. The official North Korean state news agency claimed that upon completing the round, Kim Jong-il immediately announced his retirement from golf. And Tiger Woods immediately took an almighty sigh of relief. Kim Jong-un connects to Manchester United through evidence from Antonio Razzi, a former Italian senator who claimed to have a close relationship and held private conversations with Kim Jong-un. Between 2014 and 2017, Razzi repeatedly told UK media outlets, including the Sun newspaper, that Kim Jong-un had personally revealed his love for the Red Devils and was a superfan of Manchester United who never missed a major Premier League game involving the club. Razzi claimed Kim was a particular fan of United legend Wayne Rooney. From the Mickey Mouse tin pot dictator at the head of a state which has a tenuous relationship with the truth, we move to the real Mickey Mouse. Connection 52, Disneyland. Disneyland, Walt Disney's happiest place on earth, is in reality a meticulously crafted, perpetually crowded and wildly expensive theme park that serves as a monument to manufactured nostalgia. Designed as a utopian escape from the messy realities of the outside world, it successfully corrals millions of people annually into a single, aggressively clean location where they willingly stand in 2-hour lines to experience a 3-minute ride based on a movie they've already seen. The park's true genius lies in its ability to convince families to spend 6 months' salary on churros and souvenirs, all the time assuring them that the relentless, cheerful music and the faint smell of chlorine are precisely what genuine, unadulterated happiness sounds and smells like. Kim Jong-un connects to Disneyland via his half-brother. Kim Jong-un was the third son of the dictator father, Kim Jong-il. Originally, Kim Jong-un's eldest half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, had been the favourite to succeed, but he fell out of favour and was ultimately exiled from North Korea in 2003. He was assassinated in Malaysia in 2017 by suspected North Korean agents acting under the instructions of his half-brother Kim Jong-un, who was, by now, the leader of North Korea. The connection is made because of the reported reasons why Kim Jong-nam fell out of favour with his father. He was caught attempting to enter Japan in 2001 on a fake passport to visit Tokyo Disneyland. From the happiest place on earth, we pull back the Iron Curtain and journey to the Soviet Union. Connection 53, Nikita Khrushchev. Nikita Khrushchev was the bald, boisterous inheritor of Stalin's throne. His great claim to fame was mastering the art of the sudden political reversal, bravely denouncing the tyrant Stalin after the tyrant Stalin was safely dead. He ushered in a Cold War thaw defined by his own explosive volatility when he brought the world to the brink of nuclear war during the Cuban Missile Crisis. He followed this high-stakes diplomatic feat by literally banging his shoe at the UN, cementing his legacy as a loud, erratic clown. Eventually, his comrades, weary of the drama, finally ushered him into peaceful mandatory retirement. Khrushchev connects to Disneyland because of his famous 1959 visit to the USA. Invited by Vice President Richard Nixon, Khrushchev's itinerary included meeting President Eisenhower at Camp David. But one of his main takeaways from the trip was the concept of self-service cafeterias, which was subsequently widely adopted in the Soviet Union. Khrushchev insisted on two things being non-negotiable during his visit. The first was a meeting with actor John Wayne, America's top box office star and a major anti-communist figure in Hollywood. The meeting took place at a star-studded luncheon at 20th Century Fox, where Khrushchev also mingled with stars like Marilyn Monroe, Frank Sinatra, and Gary Cooper. The second event that Khrushchev insisted on was cancelled for security reasons, much to his annoyance. It was a personal trip to Disneyland. From Soviet dictators, we cross to the other side. Connection 54, Waterloo Bridge. Waterloo Bridge is the most uncomplicated river crossing in London. Built largely by a workforce of women during World War II, this concrete marvel somehow managed to avoid all the fussy Victorian Gothic flourishes of its neighbours, resulting in a design so delightfully straightforward and plain that it barely warrants a second glance. It shuns architectural grandiosity in favour of functional efficiency as the quickest, most boring route between the South Bank Arts Complex and the mundane centre of government, standing as a testament to competent, unpretentious utility amongst London's otherwise over-engineered pomp. Waterloo Bridge connects to Nikita Khrushchev via deaths. Practically erased from Soviet history by his successor Leonid Brezhnev, Khrushchev died at the age of 77 of a heart attack in the Moscow Central Clinical Hospital on the 11th of September 1971. 7 years later to the day, the 11th of September 1978, a Bulgarian dissident named Georgy Markov was prodded accidentally by a man carrying an umbrella. The tip of the umbrella contained a tiny pellet filled with the deadly poison ricin, causing his death 4 days later. As a dissident from communist Bulgaria, it's unlikely that the assassination took place without the agreement of the Soviets. So Khrushchev and Markov died on the same day, but the connection is made because the initial umbrella attack took place as Markov was walking across Waterloo Bridge. From walking across bridges over the Thames, we decide to have breakfast. Connection 55, Scrambled Eggs. Scrambled eggs, the culinary equivalent of a blank canvas, which is to say often pale, mushy and profoundly disappointing. This ubiquitous breakfast staple demands so little effort that it remains the default meal for anyone who owns a whisk but feels that toast would be too ambitious. The connection to Waterloo Bridge is via classic songs that change their names. Waterloo Sunsets by the Kinks tells the story of Terry and Julie, young lovers in 60s London who walk to Waterloo railway station over Waterloo Bridge as the sun sets over London. As long as I gaze on Waterloo sunset, I am in paradise. Undoubtedly one of the greatest ever odes to a city ever penned. However, few realise that the original name for the song was Liverpool Sunset. Ray Davies, the lead singer and songwriter of the Kinks, scrapped this idea after the Beatles released the iconic Penny Lane. Davies changed the name of the song and the locations in it to London, and the rest is history. Another song that had its name changed and became a classic is Yesterday by the Beatles. Written by Paul McCartney, the melody to the classic ballad came to him in his sleep in 1965. He added lyrics later, with the working title being Scrambled Eggs. The initial opening verse was Scrambled eggs. Oh my baby, how I love your legs. Not as much as I love scrambled eggs. Doesn't quite have the same impact, does it? Thankfully, much more suitable lyrics were fleshed out prior to recording, and the song became a classic. After consuming a breakfast classic, we start howling. Connection 56. Wolves. Wolves are profoundly misunderstood animals. Despite being a remarkably shy creature that prefers to spend its time maintaining ecological balance, a job humans consistently fail at, it is eternally cast as a snarling villain whose singular ambition is apparently to ruin Grandma's day and occasionally to eat a stray pig. Wolves connect to scrambled eggs via selective breeding. Have you ever wondered why hens lay eggs on a pretty much daily basis, yet there doesn't seem to be a cockerel in sight? How is constant reproduction without a male even possible? The answer is, it isn't. A hen's body naturally produces an egg, a yolk and an albumen as part of its reproductive cycle. The egg is unfertilized, so it can never become a chick unless sperm from a cockerel is present. A hen's cycle is driven by extended daylight exposure, which triggers the hormones that release the yolk. Originally, wild hens would therefore lay a single clutch of 10 to 15 eggs once a year, in spring, then stop due to the broody instinct, the urge to sit and incubate them. Over centuries, humans selectively bred hens that lacked this strong broody instinct and had extended laying cycles. This continuous selective breeding resulted in modern commercial hens that never stop producing yolks and lay nearly all year round at a rate of approximately 1 egg a day. In the hunt for food, wolves cautiously interacted with human hunter-gatherer populations tens of thousands of years ago, gaining a profound understanding of human behaviour as a result. They eventually became domesticated. The hunter-gatherers then began a process of selective breeding to develop traits in the wolf that they desired. However unlikely it seems, this process ultimately resulted in the grey wolf developing into all of today's modern breeds of dog. So that's it for episode 8 in our endless quest for any semblance of a meaning, a quest that has proved thus far fruitless. If you can spare a few seconds, please take time to like and subscribe, as it really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Episode 9 sees me connect wolves with this lot, as I discuss links 57 to 63 in the journey to the centre of nothingness that is Bizarre Connections. Can you spot who or what wolves connect directly to? Join me next time to find out if you were right. Me again. One last thing. Why not join me at the beginning for link 1, Steve Jobs, on my endless chain of bizarre connections? Go on. You know you want to. Or why not view the entire playlist containing all the episodes? Also, if you could comment and subscribe, I would be eternally grateful.